Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the next episode. On this episode we are going to finish with the tabbing process as it relates to fastening down the decking or the flooring. You'll notice here we have the epoxy thickening compound here, or what I used to call peanut butter. It's actually fully dried. The epoxy's nice and cured. What I am going to do, and I've talked about this before, is we're going to go back through and sand off any kind of high spots. I actually ran out of epoxy, so I just wanted to let this dry, and then I was going to come back and sand it a little bit and finish applying Kevlar. You can see that roll right there used to be, I want to say it was 50 yards in the left side over there. That is all I have left in that roll. So we've used quite a lot of Kevlar tape. That's a 6-inch since we started this project, but that's good. So let's look at what we have left in terms of the flooring. This little seam is one of the spots that we're going to put Kevlar over, and then obviously as it connects to the transom in the back. When it comes into the bilge area, this is going to be kind of interesting, because what I'm going to do is kind of roll this corner a little bit with the sander. You can see I've kind of done that already here. And then we'll need to sand down a little bit around these edges to give something good to stick to for that epoxy. You'll see little pieces of the marine adhesive that kind of spilled out, so we'll take an X-Acto knife, clean out those little spots. It'll still go right over the epoxy well, it's just it won't adhere as well. And that little area could develop some air pockets, so it's kind of easier just get in there and yank that piece off. It's just a little bit. Alright, and then same thing in here. We're going to just go over and do some sanding, make sure we don't have any high spots or anything. Got a few little spots here and there, but we'll go ahead and clean that up. And then obviously we've got this little board, and most people have seen it throughout the videos. They said, why do you still got this board from when you were stabilizing the transom still connected? And I just use it for a seat. So as I'm in the boat and I need to take a break somewhere before I had all the flooring installed, I'd actually just come back here and sit on my old trusty piece of Douglas fir. So yeah, a little bit more sanding in here. Got a little bit here along this edge, and then we'll fill in these last of little gaps here with the epoxy thickening compound. So yeah, a little bit more to use with that, and then obviously I've got some dirt and dust left over in here. We'll go ahead and pick that out as well. And then this is where the old bilge pump used to be. I don't think I'm going to use the same position. They kind of raised it off the ground a little bit. I prefer it actually to be sitting as low as possible, but I may utilize this again. I don't know. If I decide not to, I'll end up just glassing over these little spots here, because I don't like leaving anything with screws there. It's not to my liking. So anyway, that's where we are right now. And like I said, we'll go ahead and do some sanding along that edge to get that prepped for more Kevlar. We'll do that seam along this side over here, and then once that's complete, I'm going to start working in the bilge area as well. So stay tuned for that. Another little trick here, as you're starting to go along and lay your fiberglass, and I say fiberglass, if you're not using Kevlar, you'll be using like 1708 bi-axial fiberglass. But in your case, or my case, as you're running the tabbing across, just make sure you cut it in smaller lengths like I have here. You'll find it's easier to work with in most cases, because what ends up happening, in my opinion, is the longer the strand, it starts to make the pieces of tabbing go a little bit wavy. So one of the things that I've done here is I've cut it in smaller pieces to kind of help allow for any kind of variation as we're moving along here. Alright, take a look at what we got here. We got plenty of the tabbing installed. Everything is looking great. If you notice why I didn't tab all the way across on these 4 little pieces here, it's because these are the pieces that complete the seam that go over the ski locker, and I haven't yet figured out where I'm going to cut the ski locker. So there's the other seam right here, and you can see where I stopped running the Kevlar. But once I figure out where the ski locker is going to be, because I may actually run it like all the way up to this stringer here, or I may run it into here. I haven't figured that out yet, so kind of haven't done anything with it. You notice why I stopped there as well with the Kevlar. The other reason is it covers this little stringer that runs the length of the boat, and the purpose of that is it allows me to fill these 2 cavities on this side and these 2 cavities on this side with foam while I'm debating on what to do here with the ski locker. So this is what it looks like. You can see up front where I took out it used to be a pump for the live well. I got rid of that because we're not using the live well in it anymore, and covered that with a piece of Kevlar, and then added some more of the epoxy thickening compound along the sides, and basically completed all the tabbing all the way in the back. Take a look here. All the tabbing around the bilge area has been completed. You can see where we did multiple layers in certain spots. Did that on purpose. This is a 6-inch tape that goes around here. So I've got other Kevlar that I'm going to use to coat the entire flooring. We're going to save that until we fill the cavities full of foam, and that's going to be on the next episode. You also may be wondering why I haven't covered this. I won't use the 6-inch tape to do that. I'll just use the general Kevlar that I'm going to use to coat the floor with, and I'll cut some pieces there. I also haven't done anything with the engine mounts quite just yet. I'm still debating on at what point I'm going to cover this, just for obvious reasons. Placement wise, I'm pretty confident that we're in a good spot, but as we move closer towards getting all the motor pieces installed, which is going to be really soon, probably in the next few days here, I just want to make sure those are in fact in the right position, and we'll know that coming up real soon. So anyway, once I get all that completed, I'll come back through here and finish coating it. So it'll be coated with Kevlar throughout here, except for this area here that's kind of stained. This is going to get covered with the white bilge paint, and we'll talk about that too. Alright, so this is what we're looking like here currently. All the 6-inch tape. We have officially completed all the tabbing across here. Just the only exception I would say, but it's not, but maybe 5 minutes to do it, is these 2 pieces here, which we will complete once we get the ski locker in place. But that's it. This is what it looks like. 6-inch Kevlar all the way around. 100% complete. I hope you like it. If you got questions, throw them in the comments field. I'll definitely give you some pointers on it. But this is effectively kind of sealed up at this point. You can see here I moved this cover out of the way so I could run some 6-inch around the corner here. And you can see all of our fittings and whatnot for the fuel tank. I'll actually be securing this down permanently here pretty soon. Just haven't gotten to it yet. Alright, take a look what we got here. I had to cut just a little piece of Kevlar to kind of fit underneath these holes, because I needed to seal this area off for obvious reasons, but at the same time I didn't want to cover the hole with the Kevlar. Do a little bit of light sanding in these holes just to make sure there's no sharp edges. It doesn't feel like it to the hand, but to those rubber hoses, I really want to make sure this is super smooth in here. But yeah, this is it here. So this is all of our access ports for the fuel lines. Here, once we get the Kevlar covered in this area, and probably I'd like to see the Kevlar coated in here, we'll actually run the fuel lines. I'll do a video on that piece too, so you can kind of see how I'm getting the fuel lines cut and all that fun stuff, because it's going to be kind of interesting. But that is pretty much it for the tabbing. 100%, if not super close. Next episode, what we're going to do is we are going to focus in on pouring foam in the two cavities, like I said here, one on this side, one on that side. And here, we're not going to fill any foam under the fuel tank for obvious reasons. Just a quick preview, we are going to end up drilling 3 strategic holes, probably one right there, one here, and then one in the back. And then we'll have a total of probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes on that side, and then obviously on the same thing on the other. So probably a total of 10 holes. So that's what's coming up next. I hope you liked the video series so far. It's been a lot of work getting all this Kevlar in here, a lot of yellow. It's going to stand out. Just in case you're curious, it's very, very, very likely I'm not going to paint over it. I may, but at the current time, probably not. So anyway, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to my channel. Smash that like button. Leave me some questions. I'll get to them as quick as I can. And we'll catch you on the next episode where we start getting the foam poured into the cavities. Have a good one, everybody, and we will catch you later.